Okay, good afternoon, students. As a continuation of the method of collecting primary data, we are proceeding with the interview method. Already discussed the observation, experimentation, and simulation methods. Today we would like to discuss about the interview method. Interview. I think you might have heard about the interview. It is a common word. Interview means face-to-face interaction between the two persons. In interview, one person asks some questions to the another to get some facts, their experience, more clarification about a particular problem. The viewpoint of the interview can also be get from this interview method. It is an extensive and intensive method of collecting information. There are some process of conducting interview. Before going for interview, there are some preparation, there are some process required. Preparation, introduction, developing relationship, carrying the interview, recording the interview, closing the interview are the process of conducting interview. What is the preparation? Preparation means before going to collect information from the interview, we have to make some plan, the name and address of the person from whom we have to collect the information, then area, then what type of questions we have to ask. Everything we will prepare because it is a direct contact between the two parties. That is why we will ask questions. Therefore, the interviewer, researcher should get exact point. Such a type of question we have to frame. Then introduction. In introduction stage, that means as the respondent are concerned, interviewer is a stranger. We are stranger. Therefore, before when we are going to the respondent, first of all we have to introduce ourselves, the name and the purpose of conducting this analysis and data collection. Then what type of questions we will have, what type of question is, what are the things we want, everything we will introduce to the respondent. Next is developing some relationship with the respondent. Develop some rapport. Before starting the interview, a good relationship to be maintained or developed with the respondent. Then start the conversation. For creating some relationship, we can ask some informal questions. We can ask some personal questions, everything through which we can develop a good relationship with the respondent. Then carrying the interview. After maintaining a good relation with the interviewer, we can start the questions. We can start the interview by asking questions. Then recording. While we are conducting the interview, we have to record each and every aspects that we want from the respondent. Properly we record all the facts. Therefore, recording is another process of interview. Then finally close the interview. After the interview, we should after recording the relevant information and facts, we can conclude the interview. There are different types of interview. That is personal interview, group interview, formal interview, then informal interview, focused interview, non-directive or unstructured interviews. Okay, one by one we can discuss personal interview. Personal interview may be defined as an effective informal verbal and non-verbal conversation initiated for specific purpose and focused on certain planned content areas. Here, in personal interview, we are conducting personal interview to get some information regarding their emotional and intellectual some aspects, some knowledge. We are conducting interview to get some facts about a person in which he is experienced. For example, we are conducting a personal interview with the Olympian Srijesh to know about the various aspects regarding the hockey and his experience regarding his playing match. Everything we will get from this personal interview. Then group interview. In group interview is conducted for gathering routine or customary information by interviewing two or more persons simultaneously. Data is collected from members of individual with a common interest. For example, we are conducting an interview with MNREG. തൊഴിലുറപ്പ് പദ്ധതി തൊഴിലാളി എന്നല്ലേ? That is known as the MNREG employees. We are collecting when they are working at the site. We are approaching there and collect information from that employees. Or we are collecting information from the self-help or Kudumbashree members. This is known as the group interview method. Then formal interview. Formal interview means in this case the interview is conducted for collecting information by presenting a set of well-defined questions. A well-defined question we will prepare first. On the basis of that question, we will get some facts. Then informal interview. In informal interview, the interviewer has full freedom to make adequate alteration in the questions to suit the specific needs of the interview. That means there are some questions in informal interview. There are some questions, but the person who conduct the interview can make changes in the question according to the situation. This is known as informal interview. Focused interview. In focused interview, we are conducting the focused interview to get the emotional and intellectual background of the respondent. It is meant to focus attention on the given experience of the respondent and its effects. Then non-directive or unstructured interview. It is a type of interview in which the interviewer exercises no control, provides no direction, and has no predetermined questions. That means there is no predetermined questions. On the basis of the situation that we faced, on the basis of that, we will ask questions. What is the present situation? What is the present condition? And while on the basis of that, we will ask questions. There is no structured questions. There is no planning. Then there is no control upon the respondent. But we have to conduct the interview in an informal way. This is known as a non-directive or unstructured interview. Then mixed interview. In mixed interview, it is required when we require both structured and unstructured questions. Both formal and informal questions are required. Some questions based on the formal questions prepared by us, and some questions are purely informal. This is a mix of formal and informal interview. Then telephonic interview. That is familiar. The interview is conducted through telephone mode. There are some benefits regarding the personal interview. Just like more information can be collected, in-depth information can be collected. Such type of benefits are there in personal interview. At the same time, there are some limitations. It is an expensive method. Collecting information from the interview, personal interview is very difficult and it is expensive method, and it will take time. It is a time-consuming process. Okay, then next is Delphi technique. Delphi technique means it is a type of collecting information. It is a type of collecting information in which the members of a panel of experts respond to questions to each other until reaching agreement on an issue. That means some question, just like a channel debate, in which some experts are debating, expressing their ideas, expressing their views, and this will continue until they are reaching in a conclusion. In channel debate, never they will reach in a conclusion. But in Delphi technique, the members of the experts respond to a particular question and finally they will reach in a conclusion. This is known as the Delphi technique. Another one is the panel method. In this panel method, data are collected from the same sample respondent at intervals either by mail or by personal interview. In this method, successive collection of data on the same item from the same person over a period of time. That means the same sample size is used for collecting information over a period of time. For example, we want to know the reading habit of BCom graduates passed out in 2014. In 2014, we collected 10 students from the 2014 batch and collected information about their reading habit. After 2 years, that means in 2016, again we conduct a survey, again we conduct an interview with the same sample, 10 students, whether there is any change in their reading habit. Again we are conducting in 2018 after 2 years to know is there any drastic change in their reading habit. This is known as same sample used to study or to get fact over a period of time. This is known as a panel method. Then survey method. It is a fact-find study. It is a device for collecting data or factual information of certain desired characteristics of universe. It is useful when researchers want to collect data on a phenomenon that cannot be directly observed. It is useful when the data cannot be collected through observation method. There are different types of survey. First one is cross-sectional survey. In cross-sectional survey, we are collecting information. Cross-sectional surveys are conducted, used to gather information on a population at a single point of time. For example, what is the share price in Indian market or Bombay Stock Exchange on 31st March 2021? On a particular date, we are collecting information about a particular thing. This is known as cross-sectional survey. In longitudinal survey, that means data are gathered over a period of time. The researcher may then analyze changes in the population and attempt to describe and or explain them. That means, for example, share price in January, share price in February, share price in March, or share price in 2001, share price in 2005, share price in 2010, 2015 and so on, and compare and conduct a trend study. Trend analysis are conducted. What is the trend of share price from 2001 to 2020? This is known as longitudinal survey. Method of survey, there are two methods of survey. Census method. In census method, data are collected from each unit. Population census is considered as a census survey or census method, in which data are collected from each individual. Universe, known as universe. Data are collected from the universe. All things in any field or enumeration is conducted to each and every unit included in the universe. This is known as census method. Sample method means there are so many merits and demerits associated with the census method. In census method, usually data are accurate and reliable because we are collecting data from each and every unit. Therefore, we can assure the accuracy and reliability of the data. Then it is an intensive study. An intensive study is possible through census method. And collected data can be used for various surveys and analysis. These are the various merits of census method, and there are some demerits also. Then time and it is a time consuming process, at the same time expensive, and large number of enumerator experts are required to collect data. These are the demerits associated with the census method. Sample survey means a sample is a smaller representation of a large unit or value. So sample is a sample that means that represent the characteristics of population. Therefore, sample survey means we collect some sample from the universe and study about this sample, and finally reaching in a conclusion that the sample represents the population. This is known as sample survey. There are some merits associated with the sample survey. That means it is economical, and it saves time. Then it is useful to verify theories, etc. There are some demerits. We cannot assure the 100% accuracy. It is expensive. There is a chance of errors in collecting sample. These demerits are associated with the sample method. Okay, students, today I am going to wind up the class. Tomorrow we will come with the mail surveys and other topics. Okay, thank you.